All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Disney Dads and Jordan. Today we got some tricks and some treats for you. We're going to be going over Halloween time at the Disneyland Resort. Let's get it going, guys. All right. All right, guys. So before we get started today, I have a curveball for both of you guys. So, in the spirit of Halloween, I want to know what is your least favorite Halloween candy and your favorite Halloween candy. Jordan, you go first.
Jordan, you go first. Wonderful. Like I just have that on me as
All right,
normal
give it a second.
information.
I'm gonna.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Don't leave me. Don't leave me. I don't think it's a Halloween treat. It's a year-round treat. I'll have a Reese's peanut butter cup any day. That's the greatest thing ever. Peanut butter all day.
Okay.
My least favorite candy. Oh man. Anything that's just like those. Oh, you know what? The candy cigarettes really suck. You know, you put them in your mouth. It's fun. It looks great.
What?
Tastes like shit.
You know what?
Tell me you're a millennial without telling me you're a millennial.
Yeah, like leave it to Jordan to come up with the most abstract thing in the world because I'm like, where did that even come from? I haven't seen those. For those that don't know, because now Jordan really is dating ourselves. When we were kids, there was these little pack of like faux cigarettes that were like chalk sticks that were the hardest piece of gum in the world. So the fact that you even remember that, clearly you are scarred from childhood.
To be fair, I think that's probably it. Probably ended when all of us last time we trick or treated. You know.
Yeah, it's the last time. I didn't even, Jordan. I'd be scared to ask you the last time you trick or treated because I feel like you're going to tell me it was like 19 years old.
I mean, it depends what kind of trick or treating you're talking about. I'm not going to talk about.
I don't want to know what that even means. We're not even. I'm not even going to pin that one. We're just going to ignore that one. All right, Jeremy. Jeremy, what about you? What's your least favorite and favorite Halloween candy?
I'll agree with Jordan on the peanut butter cup thing. Okay. I'm also going to add candy corn because I know there's like either you hate it or you love it. I love candy corn. I don't care. It's a weakness. It's my once a year thing. I personally, though, hate anything black licorice. So Good and Plenty is out. I know my wife and my daughter love it. I can't.
Can I just say that, by the way, don't ever, I don't know, Jeremy, if you've been to like Scandinavia, black licorice is like their favorite thing. Every candy store, salted black licorice. That is their biggest thing.
Yeah, but that makes sense though, because black licorice is made from anise, which is found over there. So that actually makes total sense to me. So it's a regional thing. Little whatever, nerding out over candy over here a little bit. It's all good. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I have to say that my favorite candy, going with you guys, peanut butter all the way. I do. I'm a sucker for peanut butter. I also love gummy stuff. I'll take gummies any day of the week. And no, not those type of gummies. Yeah, I knew you were going to go there. But we all love gummies. Who doesn't love a gummy? But no, gummies are great. I would say Nico wafers are probably my least favorite candy. They taste like an antacid. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. It's like, whoa, get that away from me. Anyway, now let's cue back in. Jordan, I'm loving your shirt today. Look at that sexy shirt. We got a new shirt for Jordan. He's officially part of the crew.
Yeah, I love it. It cups my boobs really well. It's great.
Wow, we are like going off the deep end today a little bit. We are just so everyone can tell. Anyway, let's make it back into the Disney atmosphere, a little more family friendly for everyone. Today we're going to be focusing on Halloween time at the parks. It is probably I'd say this. It's probably my second favorite season at the park. First would definitely be the holidays, general like winter time, followed by Halloween time. And then I'd say spring and summer probably go from there. Only because that's also my tolerance for the heat in Southern California. So I am a polar bear. Give me the cold all day. And who doesn't like a little bit of like fun when the parks get dressed up, right? I definitely think that the parks come more to life with the atmosphere. Starting with Main Street USA, right? We see that orange, yellow bunting down the street. It's beautiful. Center of the square, you have the giant Mickey pumpkin. You have the Dapper Dans that are performing, Halloween songs. You get to hear Grim Grinning Ghost as you walk through. I think that Disney does a better job than anyone else out there when it comes to immersion and theming in terms of getting into the park. Jordan, I feel like you have something you want to say. What are you thinking?
I was just going to say it even starts at the gates, man. I mean, someone who doesn't have an annual pass right now, I go to downtown Disney and it starts right there before you enter the gates. The lights are going, the music is going. And then I'm not even going to talk about California Adventure because it's just full swing over there. If anything, as we were talking about off stream, that is the park that's really full swing in Halloween.
Yeah, it's cool. I think that it's fun. We're not going to go so much into the history of like California Adventure's old Halloween time because there is some like history there. They used to do some really crazy decorations, and it's definitely different than it was, right? But we'll get to California Adventure in a few. Jeremy, I think you and I were talking about this previously when we were kind of like the park's lacking entertainment. I think you were bringing that up before, and I was like, you know what, you're right. And then you casually were talking to me the other day, and you're like, actually, I think Halloween time leading into the holidays has the most entertainment in the park. And doing a little bit of research for this episode, I think you might be right. Just from my hot take that I was doing really quick, they have a separate fireworks show called Halloween Screams, which is probably one of my favorite fireworks shows. It's about 10 minutes long. It's not crazy long. But again, going into the villains theme, it's super fun. They have the Dapper Dans. They have the Cars Land dressed up. They have Haunted Man. They have ride overlays. I mean, I feel like I'm missing a ton, to be honest with you. But if you were really to think about entertainment for this time of year, they actually do a pretty good job. And what's nice about it is obviously there's Oogie Boogie, which we're going to get into, which is like a separate ticket for it. But I think that everything else we're talking about is included with park admission. So it's kind of a nice little thing. It's not like you have to pay extra to see this stuff. Jeremy, is there anything in particular you like about Halloween time at the Disneyland Resort? Like, it doesn't have to, it can be anything. What do you like? What do you enjoy?
Halloween is my favorite time at the parks, right? That was every year. If I could only go one time, that was when I wanted to go. And so then when I got my annual passes during college and everything, that was always when I had to go. When my wife and I got our passes, that was a requirement. For me, I like Halloween more than holidays, right? I love the pumpkins. I love scary things. I love, monsters and things of that nature. So which is no surprise to anyone that knows me. But I just love it. That's the only time of the year where I love to just walk around and see the pumpkins and see the colors, right? The fall colors that you get. You got the overlays on very specific rides and even just hanging out outside of Haunted Mansion and just looking at it, right? Looking at it and hearing Danny Elfman's music playing in the area music that they change it out to just for the season. I love it. It's my favorite.
You sound like the most basic person. Pumpkin this, pumpkin that. That's all I kept thinking when you said that over. And I was like, Jeremy likes pumpkin spice. You can catch Jeremy.
That I don't.
Jeremy.
I like maple things are like my weakness, but yeah, no, I'll leave the pumpkin to the wife.
So Jeremy will get that bacon maple, like weird. I can't even.
It's so
maple's like such a weird. Jeremy's the type of guy that go to Voodoo Donuts and get the bacon maple like log and be like, oh, in one bite. It's a little indulgent for me. I can't do that.
You know what's the best thing though about Disney? I don't know if it's a season thing though right now, is how they're doing all the pickle stuff everywhere. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing a pumpkin spice pickle. I really hope not. But I mean, I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have that Dr. Pepper like pickle drink that's viral right now. I mean, I'm not going to do product placement, but I showed the guys a group. I sent the guys this morning before we started filming a picture of a soda I just picked up. It's the Oreo flavored Coke, and it's bizarre, but it works. So I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe pumpkins and pickles do go together. Who knows? That could be an interesting thing to do. And at Disney, if you hear this and you're watching and you take our idea, just why don't you call it the Disney Dad's Pickle? Actually, don't do that. That's a horrible idea.
Oh yeah, give them the Disney Dad's Pickle.
Disney Dad's pickle juice.
Yeah. Oh, that's even worse. Let's not do that. Okay, getting back into the Halloween spirit, we're gonna dive into some things that I like. Going off again, the park's changing environment. We have Mickey and Minnie that are dressed up, which are super cute. Each of those characters get dressed up in new costumes periodically, which is super nice as well. I want to dive into something that Jeremy just spoke on. Let's talk about the ride overlays, because that to me is kind of more the fun thrill of going during the holiday season. We're going to start with one that is no longer there, though. One that I think, and I know that Jeremy misses. Jordan, I don't know how you feel about it, because I feel like you're hit or miss on it a little bit.
100% don't like it. But yeah.
Jeremy, I'm gonna let you intro it, because I know that you miss it the most. So why don't you tell us what we're missing?
Ghost Galaxy. We need to bring that overlay back to Space Mountain. I gotta tell you, I got so burnt out on Hyperspace Mountain because they would just have it for like 8 months of the year, and they do it every year. And I definitely experienced Star Wars burnout for a time. I know a lot of people have as well. But Ghost Galaxy was so unique. in its own way. It was just, I don't know. I think it's the perfect ride to be running away from space demons. I mean, that's my take on it. That's, get a little jump scares when you're coming around. The one at the end after the picture, and I remember Ben going with you, and it go, ah! You would just scream and jump every time.
You have no proof I ever did that, by the way. There's no video evidence of me ever screaming or doing anything like that. I'm a macho man. I don't scream at little things like that.
That will be debunked on our Horror Nights video.
I don't know what you're talking about. I guess we'll have to wait and see the footage from there. But hey, check this out. Going off what you just said, and I was just thinking about it, now that Disney owns Fox, how cool would it be to make Space Mountain an alien theme, like Aliens like the movie, and make that an overlay?
Yes.
That would be scary. And Jordan, I think you'd be more on board with the xenomorph jumping out at you at the end, or like some acid dripping down on you.
I want them to put the one they had in Florida, put the great movie ride one like back in there, take it out of storage. That'd be hilarious.
I think that would be really fun. I mean, that's something that in a future episode we're going to dive into more, is the whole IPs that were brought over from 20th Century Fox that are now Disney canon somehow. We're not going to do it today, but this is a perfect example of some synergy and some fun that they could be having. Just going to say that. So I think that'd be cool. Ghost Galaxy was fun. I think it was creative, especially at night when they would come on with like the weird projection mapping on the building. The eeriness of Tomorrowland really fed into that uneasiness. And from a design standpoint, for those of you that aren't like super into like color design, they did a great job of a lot of greens. And why green is important for Halloween time in general, the green makes people uneasy and it makes them anxious. Case in point, if you ever went to a Sizzler back in the day, they used to be green, and that was on purpose because they wanted you to go to a buffet, eat food really quickly, and get out so the next people could sit down. It's all done by design and by purpose. So just next time you're in a restaurant or any public space and you see green, I want you to think about it. That makes sense. Okay.
Hot takes with Ben.
Hot takes, man. Let's go. Moving it forward, Haunted Mansion Holiday. This is a love and hate relationship with me. Love it because it's there to. I love it because it's fun. Okay, I'll start with that. It's fun. It's cool. I hate it because it's literally 6 months out of the year now. I think it is far too long. I think that it is a burnout. I think it is you shake your head all you want. We could totally disagree on this. And you know what? The other annoying thing about that ride, and this is what my kid gets stuck in my head now, is those little plant things.
I love those. That's like one of my favorite parts.
It's so, look, once or twice, fine. But man, going back and going on it multiple times and hearing that and just get stuck in my head, call it me becoming a dad and getting older. But man, that is like, no.
No. I love that.
No. Well, Jeremy, I don't often say this, but you're wrong. You are wrong here. And no. But look, it's a beautiful overlay. I love that each year they incorporate some new element to it, right? The gingerbread house. This year, it's cool because there is functionality to it. It moves. It's a Frankenstein. We'll try to get some images to show you from some of our friends that have gone to the park recently.
What'd they change this year?
So the gingerbread house this year is Frankenstein's monster on a table, and the heads, there's like a rotating head thing. So like every couple seconds, the heads change on it and it rotates around. So it's kind
Remember when like the changes were big, like they added Sally or something? Now we're swapping out a house that's not even it's a tiny house.
We're critical because we
there we go. I was about to be like, where's the tagline right there? Because there it is. No, look, you're right.
You know, let's stop hyping up the change every year.
But they've added Sally. She's still there. They've added they have Oogie Boogie in there. They have Lock, Stock, and Barrel at the end. So I mean, like, what do you want them to plus?
What do I want? I want, first off, Lock, Stock, and Barrel are not audio animatronics. They're just like little paper things that pop up. I'm gonna say that. And like, there's tons of other characters. We would love a giant mare whose head.
I was
turns.
just thinking that. Like,
I would love the doctor guy, and he's like has his brain popping out.
Heck I mean, technically all those characters are there in the loading area. I'm just going to say that. No, you're right. What if where the Hatbox Ghost is, they put the mayor, and it would be cool to see. And like as you're going backwards. Well, Jordan, if Disney listens to you, credit Disney dads. No pickles, no mention of pickles. Just Disney dads.
Disney dad's head.
Yeah. Oh no. Anyway, clearly this is what happens when we are up all night and record in the morning, people. We have a good time. We're more fun. Okay, so let's keep it going. Jordan, you're right. Maybe they should plus it. I agree there. I love the smells that are on it too. I think they do a good job of pumping in the cinnamon smell. You know,
smells is the greatest
does the
innovation
new
Disney's
queue
had
open?
in 20 years.
When does the new queue open at Haunted Mansion?
That's not going to be done for like another year because
Really?
they're still working. Yeah, that whole new. So for those that don't know, Haunted Mansion technically is under construction. Like they're gotten rid of the entire queue. They're rebuilding it to make it more expansive, longer. They're also adding a gift shop right at the end of the ride. Surprise, surprise. I'm not a big fan of this renovation personally. The only thing I did say, and people argued with me in the group, was that they should put Dr. Facilier in the Haunted Mansion graveyard in the queue. Because technically, now that it's all Bayou country over there, that to me would be the perfect buy-in because it's all New Orleans. I think that'd be a fun tie-in.
I'm sorry, Ben. That ruins the timeline. You know, that's why he's not in the ride. He's passed away.
That's why he should be in the graveyard as
saying like
a headstone.
The tombstone, not him.
Yeah, it should be a tombstone.
I'm sorry.
I think you're wrong here, Jordan. You're just being a smartass for this part of being a smartass.
I'm a smartass because they wouldn't put him in the freaking ride. So
yeah, so put him in the. I'm saying put him in the queue because he's dead in the ride. Might as well give homage to him. It'd be funny. That's the perfect place for him. I think this is going to be the queue's supposed to be interactive like it is in Florida. Yeah. It's going to be our version of it. They're taking over Magnolia Park to make this queue. Other than being another money grab, I don't know what this is. I don't think it needed the renovation.
This is to get children off of iPads, hopefully, in the line. That's what it's there for.
I kind of think I'm going to give my opinion on it. I think it's a nice change, right? I mean, the old queue was just there was no shade. It was just zigzag line and then a show at the end. Excuse my language, but where everyone just condenses down and everyone's fighting for their spot. And I feel like it's just a better way to organize it. The queue always would run out into the whole area in front of the train. Anyways, it became complete chaos after years, right? It was great the way it was when it first opened. It was great in the 90s when it was still not as crowded as it is today. But I think it needed a change. It needed something that really integrates it more. It's one of the most popular rides in the park. So I think it's a welcome change. I'm pretty excited. Once I saw the concept art and I realized what they were doing with it, I was like, okay, this is going to be fun.
Well, okay, so this isn't the only change they're doing to Haunted Mansion. I wasn't going to go on a deep dive with this until the ride officially opened, but since we're talking
about it's a Halloween episode, we might as well.
So since we're talking about some of the changes anyway, Jordan, you might not like this change, actually. Did you know that they're getting rid of the...
merch.
No, not talking merch. Not yet.
Okay.
At the end of the ride where the hitchhiking ghost would come back with you, they're switching that entirely. Now these will be animated CG figures like they have in Florida, is my understanding. They're not ready yet. That's why they didn't debut with this opening for Haunted Mansion Holiday, even though that wouldn't fit with this. Like, in my mind, I don't even know why they mentioned it because it wouldn't have fit the theme. But that is coming no matter what. That is like
all three of their faces are like Hatbox Ghost faces where it's just a projection screen.
I'm not sure if it's projection or not. I think it's more of like an animation. I'm sure that if we found like a video of it from Florida, we could see it. They're like full body.
Yeah, it's the thing where it's basically like a video face.
So
it's like putting screens in people.
You know how I feel about screens and rides. So but look, with this ride, I think this would be okay because this ride still has animatronics. It's not like it's all screen based. That's my biggest thing with these newer rides. Is a lot of them feel like it's just a CG like eye candy, and I think that I miss the practicality of going through a soundstage with robotic actors. I think that's what makes Disney cool to me. When I was like younger, I always thought like what a genius idea this was, is to put you in the camera position of going through scenes with robotic actors.
But also tangibility. The idea that if you could get out of that ride, this is a real thing that's kind of what it is in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, rides now you turn on the lights and it's a gray screen.
Yeah. All right. I want to keep it going just because we have a lot to cover. So I want to switch over to DCA now. We're going to talk about some of those ride overlays. Let's start with the most thrilling one there is, Guardians of the Galaxy Monsters After Dark. Now, what's cool about this overlay is that the ride doesn't close. So what that means is they turn the B mode on essentially right around sunset, right when the park not closes for Oogie Boogie Bash. They let park goers, I believe, still partake a little bit in this, but then this becomes more of an offering for the party. But this becomes more of a scary version, if you will. The storyline for this is that Groot gets left behind. The monsters are all loose. We have to go back and rescue Groot from the what's the guy's name? The Tavian's lair. What's his name? The collector. The collector, right? We have to go back and
Benicio del Toro.
that's the actor's name. Yes. Look, yes. Disney says, is it too scary? Guardians of the Galaxy Monsters After Dark includes loud sounds in the dark and menacing beasts that may scare some children. So look, use your best parenting judgment there. If your kids like spooky like my 3.5-year-old, they may love this ride. If they don't like spooky, I wouldn't take them to a Halloween event, maybe. Just my 2 cents there.
I think it has more to do with spooky. It's the drops. I don't see your 3.5-year-old going on those drops, man.
I don't see my 3.5-year-old being tall enough to go on those drops, even though he's tall. I don't think he's ready for it just yet. But it's cool. The lighting package for this, the ride looks different at night too. It's a little bit more scary. There's some lighting effects that really make the building pop more and more eerie. Any thoughts on it from you two on this one?
I love it.
Yeah, we love it.
All right. That's like a first.
And it is also every day. It's not just on Oogie Boogie night. So if there's no Oogie Boogie, you can still go on it at night.
That's what I'm saying. So like they don't make it an exclusive offering. It's still offered as part of the general park admission, which is kind of nice. Cool. Yes. So let's go to the more family friendly stuff. Let's go to Cars Land. Cars Land probably becomes one of my favorite areas of the park for the decorations. I think it looks cool. I love how they got creative with everything. I mean, when you go down Cars Land, the cones become teeth, kind of like the candy corns, like you like, Jeremy. The buildings have like moving eyeballs at the end of the street that look super cool. So let's dive into Mater's Graveyard Jamboree.
I was just going to say, it's like you jump into like those Cars shorts, like the Halloween episodes of the Cars shorts.
Yeah, like
because you do have the car overlays too, don't you? Isn't Mater like vampire and stuff?
Yeah. Mater's Dracula and like lightning is just like a superhero, I believe. Or it's like but Mater's Graveyard Jamboree is the same exact ride, just with some updated music for the Halloween time, more thematically. It's just kind of fun. You know what could have been a cool idea though, going off what you just said, Jordan. I don't know if you both have seen Mater and the Ghost Light. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I do remember that one.
So I think it would have been fun if on this ride they maybe attach the ghost light to the back of each of the cars, or like a light, because then as you're whipping around, that could be like a little homage to it. But yeah, look, it's a great family-friendly ride. I love that they have the tractors dressed up as mummies out to take photos with. In front of the land, they have their picture opportunity too, with like the Scarecrow car. I mean, I think in terms of theme park lands in general, I thought Cars Land nailed it. I think didn't Cars Land come out before Harry Potter? Actually, I'm pretty sure it did. Right? Do you guys know?
What was your question?
Did Cars
before the Harry Potter Land came out?
Yeah, I think it did. Right?
Well, so I think versus Florida's one. I don't think so.
Someone let's fact check this, but I think it did. And if it didn't, I can handle being wrong on this. But I think this was Disney's first real example of going into like. Really thematic.
Like a full immersion land.
Yeah. And I think it's great. So they have Mater's Graveyard Jamboree. Then we go further down to Cars Land. We have Luigi's Honkin' Halloween. Again, the ride's exactly the same. Nothing different other than the music. But again, it's fun. The lighting's a little bit different. It's just music that changes for these for the most part.
They're cute kid outdoor rides themed to the time. Love it.
Just to backtrack really quickly, Harry Potter Land in Orlando came out June 18th, 2010 was the opening date. And Cars Land at California Adventure was June 15th, 2012. So Harry Potter was first on the East Coast. Then we got Cars Land and then Harry Potter West Coast.
Okay, fine. So like, again, this goes back to, I think I said in earlier episodes, the competition is good. Them opening up Harry Potter on the East Coast made Disney say, we need something on the West Coast to draw attention and make immersiveness. And if you haven't been to Cars Land,
it's so good.
To
be fair, we could argue that Toontown was the first real immersion land. I mean, that's what, 93?
Yeah, but Toontown, fine. If you really, Toontown is something. Well, we can get into Toontown another time if you want, man. Like, Toontown has so many areas of opportunity. In fact, I don't know if you saw the news. I know that Jeremy and I kind of like shot each other a message. They almost replaced Roger Rabbit with a oh man, what is it? Oh man,
was it DuckTales?
Yeah, with DuckTales. And that would have been interesting to me because I don't know. And Jordan, I know you're going to talk about some my goodness, with Roger Rabbit stuff later in this episode. But other than like the older crowd, I don't know if kids actually know Roger Rabbit anymore. So I think DuckTales would have made sense actually, especially because they had a new series come out. But that's neither here nor there on the Halloween episode. We can dive into that discussion later.
Put a pin in that.
That one we will put a pin in, okay? So let's keep it going. Those are the biggest ride overlays. We're going to jump into Boogie Bash, okay? Oogie Boogie Bash started in 2019, and it replaced Mickey's Halloween Party. I'm going to let Jordan start this off because he has actually gone to the now debunked Mickey's Halloween Party. So why don't you give us a little like backstory of what that was for you, Jordan, and then we're going to jump into what Oogie Boogie Bash is.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I actually went to Mickey's Halloween Treat. Gosh, I probably went 4 or 5 times when that was around. I went to the inaugural year. I forget what it was. It must have been like 94, 95. And, you know, they did it. They first tried to copy like Not Scary Farm at first. You know, there was originally scaring on rides. I don't know if anybody knows that, but Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion had legitimate people jumping out at you on the ride. And it was honestly horrifying for a 6-7-year-old Jordan. But that is far gone and will never come back to a Disney park. Yeah, but I think the whole experience is awesome. You know, the park is lit very different. The music is going. Characters are dressed in their best Halloween costumes. And then there's candy. And then kids get the ultimate thing, which is they get to dress up and be their favorite Disney characters or whatever characters they are in the parks. And I think it's an incredible experience for kids and for adults too.
Okay, so they took that party, the initial, let's say like what do they call it? The framework, the blueprint for that party, and then said, hey, we want to plus this a little bit. They got rid of it, and they introduced Oogie Boogie Bash. And what Oogie Boogie Bash is it is a separate ticketed event from the normal day admission. You have to buy, if you go during the day and you want to go to Oogie Boogie Bash, you have to buy a separate ticket, reservations and all that. It does sell out. In fact, it sells out very quickly. And I believe this year it sold out within 2 weeks. And if you go on any of the websites, people are trying to resell constantly. Do not buy these tickets. These tickets are non-transferable, and Disney does check this stuff. And I've known people that have lost money and potentially have gotten banned because of this. It is not worth it. I'm sorry if you didn't get a ticket. Don't try to be the superhero parent here for your kid on this one. It's just not worth the risk, in my opinion. You make your own decisions at the end of the day. But that's just my 2 cents there. So let's break it down what Oogie Boogie is. It is a ton of treat trails, and a treat trail is exactly what it sounds like. You wait in line and you go get candy. It's super fun. To make it more fun, though, they also introduced rare character opportunities during this. So this year,
I'm just going to say one big, also minor difference. This is much more catered to Disney adults than it ever is. I know people bring their kids, but this is catered to Disney adults.
Right. So, like, I think there's a reason it's at California Adventure and not Disneyland. We know that California Adventure has the bars and the beer carts. I mean, I think we all know, the Disney dads know where the beer carts are. So, look, we know this is catered to adults. We know there are specialty beverages that they serve there. Totally makes sense that if you're going to a Halloween thing that you should, people might want to have a drink or two. We're going to get into the characters. So I'm going to kick it off. Making his debut this year at Oogie Boogie Bash. And again, this goes to rare character meet and greets and things like that. Hades is in the flesh in Hollywoodland. And I have to tell you, from a costuming standpoint and a technical theater standpoint, they hit it out of the park. This costume is awesome. The headpiece that Hades wears is an LED headpiece that lights up. And if you recall from the movie, Hades can be cool as a cucumber, but that temper goes pretty hot pretty quick. And they do that in person. So there are moments when you're walking through the queue to get your candy, the characters are engaging with you, and they have a script more or less. And Hades somehow, like, his hair just lights up red, everything goes red, and he gets super mad, and then it goes back to blue. And it's very well done. It's flawless. This is his first year, and I don't anticipate it being his last year. I'll put it that way. Moving on to the second character that I'm going to talk about, we have Agatha from WandaVision and Agatha All Along. She debuted back in 2021 when WandaVision became out on Disney+, and now she has her own show. She's over in Avengers Campus, which obviously makes sense because she is a Marvel character. So if you want a bewitching good time, go visit Agatha. She might cast a spell on you. Maybe she'll tell you where the good candy is. Who knows? Going Further, over in San Francisco Square, we have Yokaya from Big Hero 6. And my kid loves Big Hero 6, so when I saw this one, I was kind of excited. I didn't think personally that this was a big enough villain that they were going to even bring out. But you know what? Big Hero 6 is a big property. They dedicated they converted San Francisco to San Francisco because of it. Man, I wish that we had a ride, though, not just a Baymax meet and greet. I don't know if you guys have seen the Baymax ride that's identical to Mater's Junkyard Jamboree over in Tokyo.
It's so cute.
Is it Tokyo, Jordan? It's Tokyo, right?
No,
I
don't think so.
I know it's one of those parks. I'm pretty positive it's Tokyo. Regardless, I'll let when you guys look it up while I'm talking about this. There are people that literally don't go on the ride and they stand outside the ride, and all they do is they learn the songs and there's dances to it. And we'll put it in our comments. I'll link it so you guys can see some videos of this. It is like I would compare the cult-like following to the Haunted Mansion. That's how serious people take this ride, and it's the simplest ride, so it cracks me up. But I think that'd be fun. I think Baymax is a great character. I think it's a fantastic movie. Did you guys know that he's also Marvel canon? Did you guys know that?
Well, yeah, because it's the comic was made at the same time that's Marvel technically.
It is Marvel. My sister, my sister.
Yeah, but like it's Marvel because Disney, can make whatever they want Marvel.
Sure, that's true. Anyway, I thought that was interesting because I didn't know that, and I was like, "That's Marvel." Okay, moving on, and he's been there since 2023, so it's his second year at the Bash. Agatha, it's her third year. Moving on, over at the Animation Academy, we have Mr. Oogie Boogie himself in the flesh. He's been there since 2019. That is one of the OG characters, clearly, of this park. Oh, and I forgot to mention, so we're talking about park entrances and like decorations. So when you go, I think, Jordan, you're mentioning outside the park at Disneyland, they have all the big pumpkin heads. Over at California Adventure, they have a giant moon with Oogie Boogie and bats flying out of it. Super cool, super fun, very different vibes together. Again, Disneyland's more playful in my mind. Oogie Boogie looks a little bit more sinister, a little bit more mean, if you will. And the decorations in the park are cool. They have the Headless Horseman. They have bats coming out of the belfry at Carthay Circle. So super cool. Oogie Boogie, the costume itself, it's such a weird costume to me, actually. It's very like just a sack, and he looks lumpy in certain places, and you're just kind of like, I don't know what's
going on. Like live with the idea.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there. Okay, Jordan, I know you're excited about this character, so I'm going to let you talk about her.
Yeah, I mean, this one doesn't get enough love. She's over at Carthay Circle restaurant, kind of theater, not a theater. We have Mad Madam Mim from Sword in the Stone, and she is a definitely underloved villain. And, she has all the attributes of a good villain. She's charismatic, she's diabolical, and she's really silly at the same time.
She's crazy.
She's just crazy. She's absolutely crazy. She's something just out of another world. And I'm excited that she's there. Maybe in future years, we could even get other versions of her when she turns into a fox or a dragon. I think we've all been waiting for that. But she's a cool character. She's at a place that kind of Carthay Circle definitely talks about the past stuff, I would say. So she's got a perfect spot, and I'm really happy she's there. I'll jump into the next one as well, since no one else wants to talk about this. I am.
Wait. No. Do not accuse us of not wanting to talk about this one. Jordan called me before this episode and was like, no one can talk about this character except me. So do not tell me that no one else wants to talk about it. With that said, I'll let you continue now.
Okay. All right. Well, what is it? He's at Inside Disney Theater in Hollywoodland. You have the iconic, the most famous villain of all time, Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb. And this guy was hilarious. I was way too old to be watching this cartoon show.
You still are too old to watch this cartoon show.
I'm not even going to tell you how many cartoon shows I'm still watching in my mid to late 30s. But, I can see why they added him because, younger millennials, Gen Z people definitely know who he is. And the only thing I'm going to say is that costume, man. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was a great choice.
Jeremy, look up this costume, Jeremy. I know that you got to see the.
I'm doing it.
They did such a look. I'm not
Oh, it's
saying
that guy.
I'm not saying they did a bad job, but man, they did an interesting job at this one. And again,
Yeah,
we're
you got to
critical
be
because
careful with that nose.
we're critical. We got to be careful with everything going on there. Like his skin tone is like Cheeto. It looks so weird to me. Like it's bizarre.
You know what?
What?
To quote the great Michael J. Fox, it doesn't. What is it? You don't look like you like it, but your kids are gonna love it.
Yeah. It's a little too soon for you, but your kids are gonna love it one day. Great movie. One of my favorite movies of all time. Back to the Future. But yeah, this character. Look, I get it. And Jordan, like to your point, they made this event for millennial adults. I mean, that's just kind of where we're at. This is obviously another way to appease our childhood at the same time that they're appeasing our kids, right? So they're bringing a little bit of the old that we know with a little bit of the new for the kids. I'm not. The costume just really throws me off with this one. It takes me out of it just because it's so weird. And his voice when he's talking is like, I know it's supposed to be weird too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the guy's doing a great job incorporating it.
Okay.
Let's say I really hope in the future they add Perry the Platypus. That's going to get people going crazy.
They tease that. That's what's interesting. In the teaser for this character for the Halloween time, they did show like the platypus tail. So I'm kind of surprised there isn't some type of like mention of him there. It's a little weird.
Yeah, a puppet of Perry would have set the world on fire.
The internet would have broken. Okay, you hear that, Kim Kardashian? The internet would have been broken because of Perry
the Platypus has nothing on anybody.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving over to Hollywood land. Not Hollywood. Over to Soren, we have another character that Jordan was super excited about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to talk about him. To go on with your theme of nobody knows Roger Rabbit anymore, we have a giant set for Roger Rabbit fans with Dr. Doom doing his classic.
Judge Doom. Yeah. Dr. Doom is like Marvel, and that is
Sorry, let me say his name correctly. I know him as Christopher Lloyd, so I never really called him Judge Doom. Or he was called the Judge. I don't know how often we actually say.
Judge Doom is his name.
Yeah, I don't. It's like you watch the movie and you're just like, I don't know. Maybe as a movie fan, I'm like, it's Christopher Lloyd, but okay.
I call him Crazy Eyes in that movie. His eyes.
Yeah, exactly. But he's doing that iconic scene that I'll be honest, I would always like pretty much close my eyes during every time when he kills the tune.
Yeah. I have to say that this is probably Disney's most like terrifying character at Oogie Boogie Bash because he's literally dipping a shoe and killing something in front of everyone. And it's just one of those things you're kind of like, you know what, from Disney, killing a cartoon, that's pretty dark, man. Like you think that you'd see that at like Universal or like Not Scary Farm or something like that, but no, leave it to Oogie Boogie Bash to bring out Judge Doom to kill something in front of us like our childhood. It's a little
and yet, terrifying. I think he's probably one of the most popular things to see there.
But again, going back to what you said about appeasing us as adults, again, I don't think our kids know who he is other than them being like, Mommy, Daddy, who's the creepy old guy that's bald and creepy? Like, they're not going to know him, right? And because even in Roger Rabbit, the ride, there's no mention of him, the character. There's the weasels.
That ride's getting rid of every single thing too that's scary.
Well, we're not going to talk. We're not
evasive.
We're not going to get into the differences they're making on that ride right now. But look, I think it's a great character addition. I thought it was fun. I think in terms of the Disney villains, he is a good one. Let's keep it. We have so much to go over, guys. This episode is pretty full. We got so much. I don't know if you guys understand how much content we have prepared for you today. We have so much, though, and I am like pumped. Let's keep it going. The next one is I actually like this one a lot too. Jeremy, I'm going to let you take it away with this one.
Ernesto de la Cruz at the Hyperion Courtyard. This is a good one. He sings the songs. He interacts with the crowd. The makeup is stunning. It's the whole costume. They've done a really great job bringing him into the park.
Yeah. One of the best.
I have to say that, I actually went to college with someone that plays him. And I don't know if you know. I don't think you know who asked who. I don't know who asked who. Someone you don't know him. He was in the theater program.
Wait, I know him?
You don't know him either. But I know that he's played a few characters. This is one of them. And like it's just crazy to see that character come to life, especially looking like a skull, looking like a skeleton. The makeup is fantastic. The lighting is fantastic. It is very melodramatic. It is very slow. It is menacing but sweet. They hit this one out of the park. I think it is fun to watch. I think this is. I also think that this is the proof that all between this and the Coco show they just debuted and they have for Dios de la Muerte. There's the reason why Coco's going into this park. Like I've said before, it just makes sense. It's going to work. I'm just so excited for it. I really am. Okay, I'm gonna keep it going. Away. What? It's never going away.
I just said he's never going away. He's
so good, and he's been there. So let's go really quick.
2022.
Yeah, so he's been there 2 years. Judge Doom has been there since 2023. Doofenshmirtz has been there. It's his first year he debuted. I probably said that name wrong, but whatever. Okay, the last character that they have as part of the Tree Trails is Sid from Toy Story over at the Pixar Pier. Look, this one's been there since 2021. He's fun. Whoever the actor is to play this guy is a little punk man. He's just an angsty teenager. He reminds me of you and I, Jordan, and Jeremy, actually. I was looking at all three of you when I said that. Or all of us. Man, I am like pumped right now. I took like a really good pre-workout before we filmed today, and I am like...
Yeah, and an Oreo
Pepsi. Coca-Cola. Anyway, he's fun. He's menacing. He has, his setup is like some of the toys from the movie that he's playing with. And he just makes fun of you the entire time. Like he's looking at the costumes of what are you supposed to be? And it's just, he's a little punk. So he reminds me of me as a teenager because I was a little angsty, not going to use the language I want to use, but we all had our moments, right? And he just reminds me of that a lot. So it's a fun little homage to us, especially since we grew up with Toy Story. That movie debuted in 1995. I mean, that is the first that was the first computer animated movie ever. I think it's great they still include the characters. Going back to what Jordan said previously in another episode, Buzz and Woody are Mickey Mouse to Pixar, so it makes sense. I love that he's a part of Pixar Pier. I think it's cool. So there are a few other tree trails that have no villains at all. Just going to say that too. You just walk around the park and enjoy the atmosphere. So that's kind of nice as well. Those are located in Cars Land, Buena Vista Street, and Paradise Gardens Park. Those lines go faster. So if you're in a rush with your kids or your kids are having kind of a meltdown, they need their candy fix, avoid the character ones. Go get them their candy, get them something to eat, then go do the characters. No reason to have like your kid melting down because the line's long. You got to just roll with the punches here a little bit. Okay, moving on to entertainment. They offer a special parade just for this. It's called the Frightfully Fun Parade, excuse me. This is super fun. I think my favorite part about this parade is the Headless Horseman that starts it off. And then followed right after the Headless Horseman. First of all, what a sight. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it in person or a video of it, super cool to see just the Headless Horseman with the jack-o'-lantern in his hand strolling down the walkway, followed by custodians. And I love that because the horse is real. So we know that horses go to the bathroom and they have to clean that up before the dancers come out. So fun little thing to see that kicks off the parade. Followed by Grim Grinning Ghost, the villains. We get a Haunted Mansion segment in there. We get all the characters dressed up in their Halloween costumes. It is just a really fun, high-energy parade. There's nothing super special about it, but if you enjoy the villains, you enjoy the Haunted Mansion, you're going to like this parade. How do you guys feel about it?
I mean, I think it's a great way to get more characters we weren't going to see at the stations. So that's awesome. Like as a parade, I think it kind of stinks. It's pretty tiny. The floats are small.
Critical.
You know what? I'm happy to not say I'm critical because I care. I'm critical because, you can do better.
All right.
I haven't seen it personally. I've only seen the videos of it. So, I'm being very cautious on how I comment on Oogie Boogie Bash and on the parade and that stuff. I haven't been just because it's, to be honest, it's expensive. It's a lot to do, especially if you've got little ones you're bringing around, or if you just are taking a date night away from the kids to go, you got to pay for a babysitter on top of your 2 tickets. So it's almost cheaper to just bring the dang kids with you in the first place. But all the videos I've seen of it, again, I'm a Haunted Mansion nerd. So for me, I love the fact that they're in a parade. Like, just for me, that's enough. right? Like pick the Pixar Fest parade, when at the end when Sully and Mike joined the parade, this is the first time we got to see them at Disneyland, at the Disneyland Resort in a costume. So that was, just to compare, like that's my level of excitement with the Haunted Mansion being a part of a parade. And then also you get to see the villains. That's a cool thing. So there's my hot take.
Okay, we're gonna keep it going. Just because we still have
I have a quick thing to ask about parades though in general.
All right, let's go for it.
Like the Christmas parade might be one of the things they do the best.
Nope.
You have some of
hard disagree with that one. But
okay, well, you know what? To be honest, my real thing was going to say they did parades a lot better about at least 10 years ago. You had bigger floats.
That I'll agree with.
Yeah.
The Christmas parade for me, which we'll talk about during Christmas, it's one music track that just loops for each section and drives me insane and goes on forever. Yeah.
It's also dated. It's so dated. It's time to get rid of it. Let's put that back in Santa's closet and never bring it back out, please. Like let's stop.
All right. I think we could go on a whole episode talking about past parades and today's parades, but I think we'll save that for another day because I have a lot to say.
Okay, well, let's keep it going then to Villains Grove. Now, Jordan, I know this is a part of the park that you actually enjoy going to when it doesn't have this overlay. This is the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, and it's super cool because if you go down there, it's a great area for the kids because it gives them an area to run around, get their energy out. They can't wait in line. They want to jump. Or Jordan. It's very true. I've been to the parks with Jordan. It's very true. They have rope swings and tire swings, and it's just a big playground. And Walt wanted Tom Sawyer Island, for example, to be this giant playground. So this type of attraction has always been part of Disney's roots. So it's super cool that it's in California Adventure. It's continued. It gives the space for kids to just be kids. So what they do on the non-overlay, they have a whole Brother Bear section too, which is super interactive. You can find out who your spirit animal is. I think it's called your spirit animal. Or not, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Where you go in the cave and
yeah.
I love
Put
that
a fact check at the bottom of Ben's window, right?
Yeah, you should.
It's the Brother Bear hand animal thing.
Yeah. Okay. So what I like about this overlay is that we're bringing more villains to it. So they make the entire walkway, the trail into Villains Grove. We run into Judge Frollo, Maleficent, the Queen of Hearts, Scar, Dr. Facilier, the Wicked Queen. I don't know what the wisps are, but it's something. Oh, wisps have to be from Brave, I believe. Actually, that makes more sense. And Dawn. So you get to go in to see Judge Frollo. You get to walk around, smell some incense, hear some chanting. Because let's be real, Judge Frollo, in terms of like villains, he is one of the most realistic villains. Also because of the religion aspect of this to me, so he becomes very real and intense. I think it's super cool. Maleficent is awesome. Again, classic Disney villain there. So bringing her in with the thorns, it's awesome. Queen of Hearts has her garden with roses that change colors in front of you. So this isn't necessarily like a character meet and greet here. This is more of a like visual treat for your eyes and experiential. So again, your kids can't wait in line. Take them here. Let them play. This is what it's designed for. And there'll be some treats and thrills at the same time.
And the lighting, the laser lighting and stuff, and all the fog. It's one of the coolest areas.
Yeah. You can.
One thing to note, though, is that for the play area, there are certain elements of it where there are height restrictions for the kids. So, like, there's a zip line that's really cool, but I believe you have to be 42 inches to do the zip line, and I believe you have to be 40 inches to do the rock
climb.
Yeah, the rock climb. So there's a couple of areas like that, but my daughter.
I want to also add there is also no height limit to the rock climb. You can be over 6 feet and do that.
This is true because last time I went with Jordan and his wife, I don't want to say I got stuck there, but I got dragged there and there wasn't enough beer for me to just sit there being like, man, Jordan, just climb this damn wall, please. I want to go on Little Mermaid and go and meet the sea, and you want to climb. Hurry up and do it so we can go. Anyway, Jordan loves this area. It's fun. It is a visual treat. And these guys know me. I was a technical theater guy. Disney's so good at their lighting and design when it comes to immersive experiences. If you are just looking for something fun to do that's not a treat trail, that gets them, it's something to do, go check it out. It's fun. It's just an easy thing. There's no line. You just go right to it. So we're going to keep
it. It does open during the day, but it's better at night because you can see all the projections and everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing it during the day. Personally, it's much more of a geared for like
it's a
dusk.
night thing.
Yeah. Okay, this is the fun part where we get to talk now about what we want to see in future Oogie Boogie Bashes in terms of characters. So we know they brought Hades this year. They brought Judge Doom last year. They brought Doofenshmirtz, whatever his name is, this year. What villain would you want to see that hasn't been at Oogie Boogie yet?
I'll go last. I have like a dozen.
I don't want. I'm sure you do actually. That's what I'm just thinking in my head. I'll start. If you get Jeremy, unless you have one off the top of your head.
No, I don't have one off the top of my head.
All right, mine's an easy one. I would love to see Gaston. I think seeing Gaston, but no,
Hey,
Gaston.
he's at the parks year round. He's there year round at
You want to
Disneyland.
see a guy you can see anywhere.
He's not there. He doesn't walk around that much anymore, and I really think
he does. I've seen him every time I've been in the last like 4 months.
How fun would it be to have a Gaston like spot in his like tavern with all the antlers and LeFou with him? I think that'd be so much fun. He's the most
arrogant. Go to Disneyland. Go to Florida.
Okay, poo on both of you, pooping on my idea. So
on top of Ben,
why don't you say something, Jeremy? Who do you want to say?
I'm gonna go crazy. How about we put Disney to work here and find a way to do either a John Silver Treasure Planet. That would be freaking cool. And then the next one, maybe do like a Ratigan, huh? We're doing all this Disney theme. Ratigan would be awesome.
I thought Ratigan too, actually, because in my head I'm like, that song is so cool from Great Mouse Detective, and I'm like, again, if we're catering to us as like now we have
a Vincent Price impression, it would be so cool.
Jeremy, have you seen Great Mouse Detective?
Not in a long time.
Okay, I was like, Jeremy, I don't know if Jeremy knows who that one is, Jordan. That was like a
long time. Probably a reason.
I watched it 2 weeks ago.
I'm sure you did, and no one forced you either. You're just like, it's a Tuesday night. I'm watching this movie. Okay, I agree with that. Ratigan would be cool. Look, man, you're the only person that likes Treasure Planet. I hate to break it to you.
No, man.
No, you are. Atlantis.
You want to bet, man? It's got a cult following.
Atlantis has more of a chance of coming somewhat.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Name me the villain in Atlantis.
I don't need to. The guy that goes boom. I don't know, man. Like that. Who knows?
Lyle Tiberius Rourke. You want to see a dude in a wife beater talk to people? You can do that without seeing a character. There's tons of adult men ready to be him.
What about Clayton from Tarzan?
No. I'll just because Clayton's not iconic. Like he's just not.
All right, how about let's throw a real.
What about Chef Skinner from Ratatouille? That'd be fun.
Sure, people do the Ratatouille guy.
Yeah. That's the thing is they got all the big ones
honestly, and then they never utilized Chernabog. Chernabog should just have some kind of scary overlook of the whole thing.
Chernabog was supposed to be in World of Color originally, but they couldn't get the fixture to work. So, like for those that don't know, World of Color when it first debuted, they had this giant mechanism in the back of the lagoon that was supposed to come out and like with like arms. It wasn't going to be like an animatronic, but it was going to be able to have bigger screens.
Like a blow-up thing, right?
Something like that. But they couldn't get the animatronic. It wasn't animatronic. They couldn't get the fixture to work right. But Chernabog was supposed to do something. I actually think that Chernabog should be over in the Villains Grove a little bit more. I think that's a better area.
Agree. I think they love to make him large because he is larger than life. Yeah. So I think that's the big problem with him.
Okay, now that Disney owns Fox, I'm going to say this. This will never happen. But if it did, I would lose my mind. I'm going to say Dr. Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show. I think that would be hysterical.
He'd only be in the bar area.
Yeah, but you don't need to make him in like the full like lingerie. You could put him in his doctor outfit and have it more BPC and just have the iconic pearls with like the thing on with the bloody gloves. I think that would be hysterical. Never going to happen. But if they were to take 20th century properties and bring them over to Oogie Boogie, I think it'd be cool. There has to be more characters that you would want to see. I mean,
I want more Marvel villains, right? Agatha's fine, but I want give me some more in there, right? Give me give me Doctor Doom, right? Give me Green Goblin. Like those, they're just great costumes. You've got various iterations of each of them, right, from the various properties all over. I just think you have so much more opportunity there as well, rather than just put Agatha in the Doctors.
I actually agree with this too. I think that you should do more. Like again, Marvel's
It'd be a better villain show on underneath the Quinjet too, like for Halloween.
Yeah, Avengers Campus is so underutilized, and that's why these rides coming is so important. I agree with that. Yeah. I think that'd be cool. Jordan's done with Marvel. He's like,
oh my God. Like you said you were tired of Star Wars. Like, how are you not tired of Marvel? Like, let things die.
Okay, because Marvel has comic books and stories that they can just keep like.
Yeah, and they really follow those.
I was a comic book nerd as a kid.
They really pay homage to that.
Yeah, but you have the characters there, right? They're not struggling to try and create new things and figure out stories and I don't know.
We can throw the deep collection of Star Wars villains that are not from the last 20 years in there too. You can put everybody in the cantina out there. Let's have the walrus guy with a missing arm.
Oh, that would be cool, actually. Not Marvel. Not Marvel.
I was literally kidding, but
not Marvel. But I think it'd be cool to have the Walrus and the Carpenter, or Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Oh, that'd be cool. Walrus and the Carpenter are so underutilized. It's ridiculous.
That would be super cool to have like those. I think that'd be so cool.
The Walrus in the car. Yeah, that would be really cool. Like,
I think if you can have Tweedledee and Tweedledum interacting and like giving that story, and then having the Walrus and the Carpenter do the whole thing. Because let's be real, if you don't understand as a kid, you don't understand what that whole segment is, like what they're talking about, and then as you get older, you're like, wait a minute, they ate all the oysters. They're evil. Like, and I think it'd be cool to do that. I'm trying to think of other ones that like are classics. I feel like they've done a lot of villains. Again, this is
Hook and Jafar were the two for me, but they're there. So, that's why I don't have a lot of.
All right. So that wraps up our little spiel on Halloween time, Oogie Boogie Bash. But before we go today, we do have a new segment that we are going to start doing called Vault Jordan. And we're going to let Jordan explain what this is and take us away.
Sure. So, I'll cue a little intro. Welcome to Vault Jordan. And today's episode on Vault Jordan will be a series where we talk about things in Disney history, maybe stuff that's not commonly remembered or just stuff that, the fans haven't thought about in a while. To go with our Halloween spirit, we're going to talk about a short film that does get love, but we probably don't think about it all the time, and that is The Old Mill. The Old Mill is a great 1937 cartoon. It's about a bunch of animals that are living inside kind of a decrepit mill, and this actually was the first Disney short to use the famous Disney multiplane camera. And I'll be honest, I always have loved the look of the multiplane camera. I don't think it's ever been replicated. It definitely is something different. You can see when something ends, unlike today's CG animation where you're like, oh, okay, things have depth to it. But this is the weirdest way in faking depth. You have a thin layer of plants, and then you'll have the building, and then you'll have the animals. But it is very unique, and this was the first short to do it. It's very creepy. It's got a great score to it, and it's one of Walt Disney's early color shorts. It's the first one, I think, to have the title of Silly Symphony, like the actual official title.
Yeah, I think
there are other Silly Symphonies, and maybe even some before it, because I believe Flowers and Trees is before it, but this actually has the title when it came out, and it's a great short, and I do recommend it for everyone. And that's kind of just your tidbit right now from the Jordan Vault. Be on the lookout for this in future episodes, and you can watch this on Disney Plus. I'll even tell you where links are in the future where you can watch properties we're going to talk about.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that, Jordan. And if there's stuff that you want to hear or you want to know about, let us know. Jordan is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Disney history, so we're really going to tap into some of that with him and have some fun there. We're going to end the episode just with some tips overall for you to enjoy the parks with your family this season. So the first one that I'm going to give you is be patient. You have to be, right? We know that going to the theme park in general is stressful. Let's be real for a second, okay? If you don't go often, you don't have an annual pass, you go once a year or once every other year, you're disrupting your kid's schedule and routine. We know as parents that when you do that, you have a really hard day ahead of you. You just do, unfortunately. So be patient. If you're not patient, your kid's not going to be patient. You're going to cause them to stress out even more. So try not to. That being said, you can always game plan. Disney does a really good job of giving you every opportunity to see what time the shows are, what time the rides open, what time they close, what time character meet and greets are. So plan ahead. If your kid is gung-ho about meeting, let's say, Elsa and Anna, right? I don't know if they're there or not, but let's say they are. You could go ahead and look at where they're located. You can see what times they started, and then you can game plan from there. Jeremy, I know your kids are big on like character meet and greets right now, so I know that you know what I'm talking about a little bit here. I'm sure that you've had to you've probably avoided some meltdowns, but you can't avoid them all, right? Like it kind of just happens.
You can't avoid them all, but it's good to have the talk with your kids ahead of time, right? And let them know that you're going to do your best to get them all the meet and greets that you want, but you may have to pick and choose, right? So for us, a great tip, by the way, is that if you have kids that want to meet princesses, for example, which my daughter, hi Kaylee, she's been asking me to give her a shout out, so I'll give her one there. Kaylee is obsessed, and she likes to go over to, I don't remember what the area is called because she calls it the Purple Castle. So in my head, it's just the Purple Castle. It's the area where the little princess area where they do the storytelling.
The Princess Royal Fair.
Yeah, the Royal Fair. Okay. Yeah. So, she's called it Purple Castle since she was like 2.
Makes sense. I get it.
Why. So
it's a Purple Castle. It makes sense.
It's Purple Castle. So so that's her area. They open it up at 10 a.m. the indoor meet and greet. You get to meet 3 princesses in there. I recommend getting in the line around 9:30. If you get in the line at 9:30, you should be done by 10:15. Otherwise, if you wait till it opens, you're going to be waiting a good 60 to 90 minutes just to meet the three characters. So that's going to be one of my main tips. It's good to, if you ask the cast members around where certain characters come out, they'll tell you. They can give you rough ideas on timings. If they're not really supposed to tell you, but if you say, we got to get going, my kid needs a nap, we got a lunch reservation. Could you maybe let me know approximately what time this character might come out, it's their favorite? They'll look at the chart and they'll tell you, they'll give you a rough estimation, but just keep your eyes open and be ready to move. Another tip I want to also give is the Genie app. You don't have to buy it, first of all, right? I haven't bought it yet, even with the new Lightning Lane experience. If you pay attention to the Genie app and you utilize the tip board, you should be able to get through almost everything that you want, with the exception of maybe a couple things. That's why I said almost everything. And if you're staying late until the park closes, you'll really be able to get through as much as you can. It's a lot of extra walking. It's not going to be like the old days where we used to say, let's get this land out of the way, and then we'll move into this land, then we'll jump across to that land. It's kind of more about seeing what times of the day are peak hours for which rides. It's all about data, right? They extrapolate the data from park goers, from people using Genie and FastPass and everything, and they can tell approximately based on historical data for that day and that time of the year, what are the busiest hours for each ride. So you can kind of start to see, all right, which the next ride that we want to do. Oh, Pirates is only a 30-minute wait. Let's go jump in line for that. You do that one, get out of the way, and then, Millennium Falcon's down to 20 minutes. Let's book it over there, and usually it works out pretty well for us when we're paying attention to that. But again, bring your patient pants. If you've got a stroller, just know that people don't move out of the way at Disneyland for strollers very often. And it's kind of frustrating, but, just be respectful, do it with a smile on your face, and everyone will have a good time.
I think that's with everything. Go ahead, Jordan.
I want to do the last little tip here, which is when you're bringing your child to this, I will know from my own personal experience going to Disney when I was a kid and wearing a costume. Wear a costume that is either not too hot or just not too cumbersome. My mother made me a Miko costume back in 1995 with a giant tail that dragged, face paint, everything.
Please,
and
please
I
want to
will
get
try
photos.
and find a picture of
Yeah,
this.
we have to find photos of that, please. We really
Jordan
do.
as Nico is a haunting thing, but it's awesome.
I love it.
Anyways, that thing was getting so dirty by the end of the night, and the face paint melts, and your kid's unhappy. So just definitely think about your child's comfort when you do it.
Yeah. We usually will bring a backup, or and kids are stubborn and they want what they want, right? And so if Kaylee says she wants to wear this one specific princess costume, but it's got sleeves on it, and we're just like, that's going to be really itchy and you're going to be really sweaty. And she goes, well, I like it. So we'll bring like a nightgown that's of the same princess, or one that we know is slightly different, and we won't tell her. We'll just keep it in the bag. And then when she says, I'm itchy and I'm sweaty, we'll say, see, I told you. Here, do you want to change into this one? And then they go, yes. So they learn also through doing that. But yeah, that was a really good point to bring up.
Last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to wrap up the episode. Adults, you can dress up in costume for Oogie Boogie Bash. You cannot dress up during the day. I'm going to repeat that.
Correct.
If you show up at the park in costume, you will not be let in. Security will come up to you and they will say you have to change. They will not provide you a change of clothes. They will tell you to go buy something from World of Disney or some other store downtown Disney. So be prepared for that. Now, a workaround you can do is what we call Disney bounding. And for those that don't know what Disney bounding is, that is just wearing street clothes in the theme of a character. So if I wanted to Disney bound as Wreck-It Ralph, for example, because I'm a big man and I love Wreck-It Ralph, I would wear overalls. I would wear a burgundy overalls. I would wear a flannel or a t-shirt that's kind of beat up underneath it. And then I would wear flip-flops because he goes barefoot. And thus,
and dye your hair red.
Yeah, I do something with my hair. And that is Disney bounding. You're not breaking any rules by doing that. There are tons of people out there that go to the parks like this on a daily basis. I'm sure you've seen some of their content. We actually will be trying to get a few of Disney bounders on our podcast to kind of talk about their experience there. So something to look forward to in the near future. But hey, we really appreciate you guys stopping by today, spending some Halloween time with us here at the Disney Pods. The Disney Dad, I cannot talk. The Disney Dad Podcast and Jordan.
Disney Pods Dadcast.
Whatever, man.
Blah,
Blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. No more pickle juice, and we are good. As always, subscribe, smash that like button, turn on notifications. Please spread the word. Join us in Disneyland Rivers and News if you're not already there. We'll link that to our comments as well. But we hope you have a fantastic week, and we'll talk to you soon.
I'm gonna add really quick. We're on Spotify. We're on. We got to add. We're on all the places you can listen to us in your car.
So anywhere that you get your podcasts, we are available. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. I'm pretty sure that's it, right, Jordan? So
Apple Podcast, not Apple Music.
Apple Podcast. So if you don't want to see our beautiful faces and you just want to hear our better voices, I don't blame you. Give us a listen. We appreciate it. As always, we'll see you next time. Have a good one.